Hi, this is Ralph, and in this video I want to go over some flash merge shapes. And they're really useful tools. Sometimes they can be a little bit annoying, but otherwise you can do a lot of cool stuff, and you don't have to have great artistic ability when you create characters or designs or something using merge shapes. So let me just kind of do a couple little basics here. I'm going to use my rectangle tool, and the first option is my merge shape rectangle tool. Notice we have a few other choices. There's the rectangle primitive tool. I'm going to do a rectangle tool. And there is a button over here for object drawing to create a drawn object. I don't want to click that. That's a little bit different than a merge shape. Now, as soon as I've selected my merge shape, I can choose the fill and the stroke. And there's a couple places I can do that, but I'm going to look over at my properties panel or properties inspector, and I'm going to see that currently my merge shape will not have a stroke or a border, but it will have a red fill. So I'm going to modify that. I'm going to change the stroke over to about 5. And I'll set a color of a dark green, and I'll change the fill over to this ugly yellow, or ugly yellow green. And I'm just going to go ahead and draw that merge shape. There we go. Now the cool thing about merge shapes is that when you have the selection tool pressed, keystroke V, you can click on the fill and select just the fill of the shape. You can click on a border to select just one border. You can double click on a border to select the entire border, or you can double click on the fill to select both the fill and the border, the stroke and the fill. So that's pretty cool. Now the other thing you can do is after clicking away to deselect, you can bring your pointer close to a border and you get this little icon, this bend icon, and you can click and drag in, or you can click and drag out to kind of morph the shape. Oops, there we go. Kind of mess it up that way. If you go to a point, you'll get an angle, and you can emphasize or de-emphasize that particular angle. Now if you go to a bendy part, hold down the mouse and the control key. There we go. Then I can make an angle there, and you could do something with that. So if you're using your imagination, maybe that's going to look like a dog now. So that's kind of neat. Now when you have the selection tool, you can also select portions of an image just by clicking and dragging a rectangle. So that's a cool feature of a merge shape too. You can select portions and delete portions. I'll do a Control Z to undo that. Now the other thing I want to show you with merge shapes is that if you have another merge shape, and let me just change a few characteristics about another one here. There we go. So I have two merge shapes, selection tool, and if I slightly overlap another merge shape with a merge shape, click away to deselect, go to the topmost one, and then move it away, I've taken away part of that first merge shape. And this makes sense if you really think about it. When you click away from merge shapes, they merge together. That's why they're called that. So this is really one shape now. They've merged. And if I take away a portion, well, there is nothing underneath. So that's an aspect of merge shapes that can really come in handy. Why? Because it lets you create some unusual things. Oh, by the way, as you can see, you can take out just the fill, or you can select the border and move just the border around. I'm going to select all of that and delete it. In fact, I'll select that and delete it. Let me show you one more thing here. I'm going to do a merge shape with an oval tool. And let's say I don't have a stroke, I just have a fill. If I hold down my Shift key, that'll force it to be a nice circle. And then I'll create another one. Oh, also an oval tool. Change the fill. There we go. Select one, merge it on top of the other. Click away, remove it, and then you can have a crescent moon shape. So that might come in handy. I could take this fill and stick it right there. Take that away, and now you might have a horn or something. Once you have a shape that you kind of like, you can use the free transform tool, click it, and then I can rotate this around however I might like. I can resize it as appropriately. I can skew it a bit and do that. Say, well, that's pretty cool. I'll take my selection tool. I'm going to click, hold down my control key, and that'll make a duplicate of that other shape. I can click on this one, go to modify, transform, and I'm going to flip it horizontal, and now I've got a mirror image of that. So that's just a little bit of fun you can do with merge shapes in order to create some unique designs.